Over the last 7 months, I've been testing this ARRMA Granite 4x4 BLX, and today I'm going to be reviewing it to hopefully help you decide whether or not to purchase one yourself. Now this truck has been a lot of fun to have around, and it's been one of my favorites out of my lineup to take to skate parks because of its small size and how much it weighs compared to my larger 8-scale vehicles. The Granite is a wheelie machine, especially on 3S LiPo, which is what I run this truck on 99% of the time. It has a ton of power and is capable of speeds just under 50 miles per hour, which is plenty for a 10th scale monster truck. The 3S battery I've been using is from Genzace. It's a 5000 milliamp 60C pack. I'll put a link to it down in the description of this video if you're interested. This platform is really well balanced and the truck is extremely responsive in the air, which is perfect for flips. I'm actually really liking these Fortress tires. The rubber compound is on the softer side, so if you plan on running this truck aggressively on pavement, this tread is going to wear noticeably faster. But overall, these tires get pretty good traction on almost every surface. I even ran the truck in the snow and it did pretty decent for not having paddle tires. Even though I've been running the truck on 3S LiPo, I haven't really felt the need to stop the truck and wait for the electronics to cool down that often. Temperatures in the motor and ESC have actually stayed very reasonable, and especially on the motor, I think the heatsink and cooling fan does a great job of keeping the motor temps down. When it comes to durability, I've been putting this Granite through its paces, and it's held up great to all of my abuse and mistakes. This Lexan body has taken a lot of hard hits, and it is starting to show some wear. We have one crack on all 4 fenders. In the long run, these shouldn't be an issue because they don't seem to lead anywhere important. The bottom corner at the back of the front wheel wells will also come in contact with the tires sometimes when you're turning, so you might want to trim that area. You'll find majority of the damage in the bed of the truck. The rear body post holes are starting to rip apart. I've honestly never had a 10th scale Lexan pickup body hold up well in the rear with standard body posts. A lot of bodies have these little bump outs on either side of the rear posts. The Lexan always seems to be thinner in these areas, and then cracks always form and follow these sharp edges. Overall, it seems like a pretty solid body design besides that one area. It definitely seems to be the weak spot on the Granite. All of my electronics have held up well, even the stock steering servo. I was kind of expecting to have issues with it. Sometimes these stock Spectrum servos will just die or strip out, but this one luckily has been holding up, and overall it's been doing a surprisingly decent job. Mechanically, I really haven't had many parts actually break on this truck. I've had a few rear shock shafts bend, but luckily I was able to bend those back and continue using them. I had these screw that threads through the bottom of the rear skid plate and into the rear diff housing somehow pull out. It's a really long screw. It has a ton of threads and you wouldn't think that it would just pull out, but mine did for some reason, so I just have some CA glue on it to hold it in there. And then I did experience a common issue with these 3S ARRMA vehicles. I just had a tire fall off. So all that happened is a screw in the end of the axle just came unthreaded and the stub axle fell off, and that's what the wheel is attached to, so everything came off with it. Luckily, when that happens, you typically don't lose any parts or screws. Although this truck is mostly made of plastic, it's done an excellent job of holding up. This was my first ARRMA 3S vehicle, and before purchasing it, I was a little skeptical of not only the plastic drive shafts, but mainly the plastic ring and pinion gears that are inside this truck. I didn't think the diffs would be able to hold up, but I haven't had an issue with them yet. Now, unless you're really heavy on the throttle, these plastic drivetrain parts seem to hold up well, but regardless, they are most likely not going to last as long as metal parts would in the long term. When you get this truck out of the box, I'd highly recommend adding Loctite to the screw that goes through the end of your drive shafts and out into the stub axle. So to do this on all 4 corners of the truck, you just remove your tire, you remove the screw that holds in your camber link, and once you remove the 14mm wheel hex, you can tilt your hub carrier out and then remove the outer half of your axle. You stick a 2mm hex driver all the way down the half shaft, and that'll reach a screw at the end of the drive shaft that goes into the stub axle. You just remove that screw, put some Loctite on, put it all back together, and that should prevent your tires from falling off. When it comes to installing actual upgrades in your ARRMA Granite, with most vehicles, I recommend waiting until you actually break apart before deciding whether or not to upgrade, because sometimes you'll find that you actually don't need to upgrade the part that others are breaking. Like, it is somewhat common to have these stock motor plate bend on these 3S vehicles, but I haven't experienced any issues with mine, and this truck has had some really harsh impacts, so maybe it just comes down to luck. If you are looking to put some money into the Granite, I'd recommend focusing on the steering servo. It's always a solid upgrade for ready-to-run vehicles. In this case, it's more for reliability because the stock servo actually performs pretty decent. The shocks are also a pretty common area that people upgrade on these ARRMA 3S trucks. Right out of the box, the right front shock was actually leaking on this Granite. You could probably install new seals and fix that issue, but installing nicer aluminum shocks will also help with adjustability and durability. Installing 17mm hexes is another nice upgrade for these ARRMA 3S trucks that'll give you a much wider selection when you go to upgrade your wheels and tires for the Granite. Like and subscribe if you found this video helpful, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.